Hey everyone, this is Randy from BibleBuyingGuide.com. Today I'm taking a look at the New King James Maclaren series Large Print Thinline in black genuine leather. And this one has the words of Christ in blue. So this is a 10-point large print. So there's all the information on the back. We'll take a look at what we have here. So this is genuine leather. It doesn't say the kind of leather that it is, but it does look a lot like cowhide. It very much has a cowhide green. I like the look of that green. Leather is thin. It does have a vinyl liner. It's edge lined with vinyl, and that does make the leather really thin. But it does look and feel good on the outside. There's the spine ribs. So there are large spine hubs that are outlined in gold. 2 ribbons, black and a blue, and the blue matches the blue highlights in the text, and then a pattern for the gilt edges. I like that pattern. That looks good. So it does stay open okay, but mine, I don't know if this is normal, mine was that edge line tab is stiff, but my pages that are glued to it were bent out of the box. That does allow the pages to stay open better. I don't know how safe that is, but we'll see. So there is the presentation page. I think that is the same 36 GSM that's used in the regular Maclaren series. The difference is this one, it has a little bit more of a smoother feel to it. Other than that, it looks and feels the same, just a touch smoother. I did have a little bit of trouble trying to separate the pages with my normal rubbing them together. They don't come apart that way, but they're easy enough to separate at the edge of the page, just to reach up and grab it. So here is the information. It is printed in China using the typeface designed by 2K Denmark for the New King James. So there's how it stays open. Once we get in Genesis, it actually does lay down a little bit better. So there's the text, double column paragraph, 10-point font, printed with line matching. This is a good size font. The verse numbers are a little, they're not dark, so they don't stand out. So if you're trying to find a verse really quick, it might take you an extra second. It does have the reference keys and all that in the text, so some of that does get in the way a little bit of reading, but it's not bad at all. It includes the reduced set of footnotes that's used in a lot of reference editions. It has fewer references than some of the other Premier Collection and things like that. These are the same references and footnotes that are found in the Sovereign edition. So there is our blue highlights. So we have blue for the book names, section headings, and chapter numbers. And then as you can see in the footer, we have blue for the reference number. About 8 to 10 words per line, which looks really good. It's a good balance between prose and poetry. Here's our poetry. Letters are indented. The paper is a little bit stiff. I don't know how else to describe it. It's a little stiff. Not as quiet as other paper. It's very opaque. I like how opaque it is. I love the color. I love the opacity. I love the feel of the texture. It's just a little bit harder to grab and to separate. There it is. So it might just need to be broken in a little bit. Kind of like new money. How new money is a little sticky at first, and then it breaks in after using it for a while, and it's okay. So there's some more blue highlights. And these are the same blue that's found in the Maclaren series. And that's really the only thing that's similar to the Maclaren is that blue. Other than that, it's not a Maclaren, an original, like the original edition. The text does bend into the gutter a little bit because of that edge line. It keeps the spine flat. So that doesn't come up at all. So when that happens, we have a little bit of a hump, which also makes that text go into the gutter just a little bit. It's not terrible, but it's noticeable. There's some poetry. Poetry is broken into good places. It looks clean and easy to read. There's no awkward lines or anything like that. It looks really good. There's one of the letters, personal letters. They are left justified but not right justified. So you have a ragged right edge, and then also they're indented. So they stand out from the rest of the text. It's easy to tell at a glance that's a letter from one person to another. And this is a blue letter edition, so the words of Christ are in blue. And it is a dark blue. It's the same blue as the rest of the highlights, but the rest of the highlights are a bolder text. So the blue that's in the text itself doesn't stand out as much as the blue in the highlights. But it's still easy to read. It's dark, and I like it. I like that a lot. There's a good example. I find that easy to read. It looks really good. So a lot of readers have mentioned to me that they find the red to be difficult to read if they're colorblind, and so the blue is a little bit better for them, I think. Books do start on a new page. List look like lists, so there's Revelation 7 list. That looks good. So I find this to be a highly readable text. I find it to be easy to preach from. It does take an extra second to find the verses, but it's not terrible, and I'm okay with it. I've gotten used to it. So there's the concordance. It's a basic concordance. It doesn't have names except for Jesus, and it only has a few references for Jesus. This is the same concordance that you're going to find in the Sovereign. So it's good for basic study. If you're doing some serious study, you're going to need a larger concordance. Here's how many we have for God. So a few at the bottom of that page. And then here's the rest on the other page. That's not bad. Not bad at all. And then we have 7 maps printed on semi-gloss paper. That's that thick paper. They're annotated, so they're easy to find what you're looking for. It does not include an index, but the annotations do help. So there's the maps. And just like the front, the back tab for mine was bent. That does help it to stay open a little better. So here we are. Let's go to well, there it is at the end. There we are on the map. So it does stay open well. So let's take a look at the size and weight. The overall size, if you need a cover to put it in, is 6 3/4 by 10 by 1 1/4. And then the trim size is 6 1/4 by 9 1/4. And it weighs 2 pounds, 2.9 ounces. So I find it easy to hold and carry. It's a little floppy. It's a little thin because of that vinyl liner. So the leather itself is thin. So it does feel a little bit floppy, but it's easy enough to hold open. I love the color of the paper. I love the texture of the paper. I love the print quality. Paper is a little loud. If I can make one change, I'd like to have a leather liner. But overall, this is a good Bible. I like it a lot. In the next video, I'm going to compare it to the original Maclaren series and see what the differences are, and then we'll also compare it to a few other editions. Thomas Nelson did supply us in exchange for an honest review. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll place links in the notes so that you can make a purchase if you're interested, and also a link to the written review at BibleBuyingGuide.com with lots of photos and more detail. Thanks.